Hello everyone, this is Yeeflex and welcome back to another video. So I know I haven't been posting as much on Yeeflex, just want to address that clearly in the beginning of this video, and I haven't had the opportunity to go out fishing as much, so sorry for the infrequent amount of videos, and I hope you guys still stick around for when I do go fishing, because I hope to go fishing a little bit more in spring, and you guys just saw my last striped bass fishing video, so I didn't get as much footage as I wanted to, but I hope you guys enjoy that video anyway. So this is in line with the striper fishing video. So this is going to be sort of a catch and cook video, similar to how I did the trout one, but a little bit different. So the striped bass that I caught, the 23-inch striper, when we were cleaning it, I ate the first half, cooked it the same way the trout was, and I ate it kind of Chinese style that way. So I froze the other half, which was the tail end, and this was an interesting experiment. So I wanted to make a fish tomato based pasta, so a tomato fish pasta to be more specific. And to give some context, when I make pasta as of recently, I do use fresh tomatoes because I have an opportunity to go to a local grocery store where they are able to sell some of their blemished veggies for a reduced price, and I don't mind doing that, especially when I'm making something like tomato sauce. So when I see tomatoes in there, I do purchase the tomatoes because it's a little bit more bang for my buck, and I like making my own tomato sauce, and I think it's a little bit cheaper that way, and I get to kind of construct my own pasta sauce, so to speak. So this was an interesting one because there were a lot of steps involved. So I made the pasta sauce out of the fresh tomatoes a couple days prior to cooking the fish. But on this day, I cooked the striped bass. I unfroze the food savored striped bass that I had, the half that I had, and you've been seeing it on the screen. And there was actually quite a bit of meat off of this striped bass. So basically what I did was cut it open. It was still partially frozen, which you'll see later, and it was still really in good condition, no freezer burn or anything. And I wasn't sure because the fish was still looking a little bloody, but I wasn't sure if there was going to be a fishy taste. So what I did was I took it out, put it on a pan, and I cut some slits on both sides and put some salt, pepper, garlic powder on the fish and some olive oil. That's it. I didn't do anything else, and stuck it into my toaster oven because it was enough of a size to stick it in there to roast. Now this fish was pretty interesting because it was a little bit thicker than I thought it was. So when I thought it cooked, I didn't realize that it wasn't fully cooked, and it was hard to tell because the middle looked cooked but not on the inside. I couldn't really see it, but I think the slits on the side really did help make the fish cook and get a lot of the flavor into the fish meat, because when I tasted the fish meat, when I was kind of pulling the backbone off or the bones off of the fish before I added into the pasta and after it came out of the toaster oven, man, it tasted really good. I was so surprised with how good it tastes, because sometimes striped bass, even when I cook it Chinese style, I do have a little bit of that freshwater fish taste. I don't even know how to describe it, but this fish was so clean. Like it was like the cleanest fish I've eaten, and it's even cleaner than some of the trouts I've eaten. And the trouts I bleed out too. I don't know. This fish was just really interesting. So I mean, I was just picking off like the little pieces off like the tray of the fish. I was like, wow, this tastes so good. Long story short, I did have a little bit of trouble because I didn't fully cook the inside of the fish, so it was still a little bit frozen, but I did have a hot cooking tomato sauce, so it was okay because the fish cooked in the tomato sauce. So it was maybe 90% cooked. There's maybe like a 5 or 10% that wasn't fully cooked yet, but I was okay with that. It was just hard to get the fish off the backbone. And as you see here, like on the pan, it's pretty deconstructed, and there's a lot of little bits of meat, and I kind of liked it that way just because it was easier for me to add that into the pasta sauce, and it's just really good there. And I added all the shredded striped bass that I could get off of the pan into the pasta sauce, and you'll see that pasta sauce, it smelled really good. and adding the fish, man, it was, oh my god, the flavors were incredible. Oh my god, I can't I can't even begin to describe what those flavors or smells were like. It's really good. Like I can't. It's just all the herbs and the fish, and then I mixed in the fish with the pasta afterwards because I boiled the pasta first and warmed up the tomato sauce and combined it all together. Man, this was a really hearty like pasta just because there was a lot of striper meat. And the interesting is, at a fancy restaurant, I've actually had striper, which they call it sea bass, before, and it was just like a one-off thing that I did with my family. We don't normally go out to eat at more high-end places that often. I ordered a sea bass, didn't realize it was striped bass till after I looked it up, and a quarter of a striped bass at that place from like a fillet went for like 30 bucks or something like that. So this was a pretty good amount of fish that was in here, so definitely more than $30 worth. But this fish was really good. I mean, like the pasta that you see here, oh my god, this was like the best pasta I've eaten in a while, man. That was a fish pasta. Usually, like when I have fish pastas, maybe there's other seafoods in there, but they have a little bit of a fishier taste, which actually I was looking for in this pasta. But this pasta, the fish had no fishiness at all. It felt like I was eating chicken. Like almost, it wasn't exactly chicken, but the texture was like chicken. There's no fishiness taste. Like you could tell it wasn't chicken, but it was like an analogy is like chicken, where it had no fishy taste at all. So it was very hearty, kind of steaky-ish like fish. I don't know, I've never had striper in this vein, never thought to even do this before, so this is something I was super excited to try, and I'm so glad I did because it worked really well for me. I don't know if it's because the tomato sauce I made was already kind of marinating for like a couple days, and how I make it is conducive to how it was done for the fish, but overall it's just really a great like use of the striped bass, and I was really happy to do that. So in the future I may try this again because my gosh, I was so happy when I was eating this meal. I had like the biggest smile on my face, and like I accomplished like this full meal, even though it was pretty complex to make. There was a lot of moving parts. It was so worth it at the end. I was like, this made catching that striper worth it. And striper fishing for me already is my favorite type of fishing, but this just elevated the striper fishing level. So whether it be Asian style, baking the fish or roasting the fish in the oven, or making it into a pasta, those are 3 ways I made it. And I have to say, like, the pasta way is probably the most steps, but like the most worth it for me. That I like fish pasta, so I really enjoyed that, and that I can confirm is all gone. I ate all that. So anyways, hope you guys like this video. Sorry for the infrequent fishing videos. I haven't been out fishing that much recently, but hopefully there will be more videos soon of me fishing, as trout season will be a thing probably in the end of winter, early spring at San Pablo again. So I hope to go out there again, at least to go fishing. So anyways, hope you guys like this kind of catch and cook video, and enjoy the videos that I have for now. And you know, if you want to try this recipe, feel free to. It's a very interesting one, and I highly suggest it. Just bleed out the striped bass. Like, take care of the striped bass first when you catch it. Like, bleed it or clean it like the next day, but don't leave the blood in the fish. Like, try and bleed it out as fast as possible so it has the freshest, cleanest taste. And if you plan to freeze it, use a food saver. That will save it from going bad. So anyways, hope you guys like this video. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.